The state's top law enforcement official is undertaking a review of what happened before, during, and after the deadly fires. Gina Mangieri is always investigating and reports what could be uncovered.
What is likely to be a wide-ranging and long review of the wildfires is underway, as State Attorney General Ann Lopez says she's taking on the task. I talked to two former AGs who say starting early in a crisis is the right time.
It's important to get to the scene of the incident as quickly as possible to be able to find out what evidence is there before it's cleaned up.
It's important for her to start early. I don't think that when she announced that she was going to investigate that she had any preconceived notion as to what she was going to be looking for.
But the powers invested in the AG are broad to subpoena witnesses, question under oath, gather and analyze evidence.
These investigations are looking for potential violations of law, potential areas where someone has not followed the proper procedures and proper legal requirements.
And that means anything is on the table. Lopez says she'll scour both the Maui and Hawaii Island wildfires, looking at critical decision-making, standing policies, and what happened before, during, and after. She says the investigation will coincide with supporting all aspects of the ongoing relief effort, but now is the time to start understanding what went wrong.
What can we learn from this, and where do we go from here? Part of where do we go from here and answering that question might be, is there some sort of civil liability or criminal liability? Criminal liability can come from things that you do and things that you do not do. So it's the failure to act that can also create liability.
Once that has been determined who is at fault, then they should face penalties and consequences for not preparing in advance for these types of storms.
That's former Public Utility Commissioner Jennifer Potter, who survived the Lahaina fires and is with her family in West Maui.
Starting with Hurricane Lane and then looking at the progression of it, we knew that their wildfires were a problem in Maui. We knew that for certain. And the government there is aware of it. You know, the utility there is aware of it. The state is aware of it. And yet we had not taken the actions that are necessary, that we must take now.
HECO has a 500-page climate adaptation and resiliency plan sitting before the PUC for more than a year now.
We had not prioritized that fire mitigation plan, and that ultimately should have incorporated best practices from the mainland utilities such as California.
Here's why HECO says that's not done in Hawaii.
It is controversial and it's not universally accepted. It can be seen as creating a hardship for those customers that have medical needs. In Lahaina, the electricity powers the pumps that provide the water.
Both HECO and Potter emphasize it is not yet known what started the blazes, but Potter and others saw poles and lines down and many blocked escape routes and roads.
That's one thing when we say, okay, who started the fire? But the reality is when that infrastructure failed, and it did, people were trapped. We know those lines that hit the ground, some of them were live. We hadn't de-energized even when these power poles were toppling.
Potter says the breakdown of communications bears investigation too. Of the alerts that did go out,
people they were not able to receive information from emergency medical systems and from text messages or emails that were being broadcast.
So when can the public expect results?
It can take months or years because you don't want to say, I'm going to do it in 30 days and then come out with an opinion that doesn't have all the facts. So I'm afraid that we're going to have to wait.
Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News, always investigating.